Welcome back, it's Fikti. Tonight, we're venturing into the Philippines' most haunted places, where history and horror collide. These aren't your typical tourist spots. Each location is steeped in tragedy, with restless spirits said to linger long after dark. From abandoned buildings echoing with screams to roads haunted by vengeful ghosts, we're diving into the country's chilling paranormal hotspots. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and ask yourself, are you brave enough to join me as we step into the darkness? Let's begin our descent into the most haunted places in the Philippines. Our first stop, the Manila Film Center, a monument to ambition and disaster. In 1981, construction was rushed for an international film festival. Then tragedy struck. Scaffolding collapsed. Workers fell into wet cement. Legend says, in the rush to meet deadlines, rescue efforts stopped. Some workers were entombed alive, their bodies forever part of the building. The festival went on, but the structure was never truly finished. Soon, it was abandoned, and the stories began. Security guards reported screams, cries for help, and the sounds of phantom construction. Shadowy figures, apparitions of workers, and chilling touches from unseen hands haunt its halls. The air is thick with sorrow, a grim reminder of the cost of ambition. Today, ghost hunters call it a hotspot, where the suffering of the past refuses to fade. They say if you listen closely at night, you might still hear muffled screams from within the concrete. The Manila Film Center stands as a permanent echo of that terrible night. Next, we travel to Baguio's Diplomat Hotel, perched atop Dominican Hill, a place of peace turned to horror. During World War II, the Japanese army seized the building, turning it into a site of torture and execution. Priests, nuns, and refugees were beheaded, the ground soaked in blood. After the war, it became a hotel, but guests soon reported headless priests and sorrowful nuns wandering the halls. Screams, crying babies, and desperate whispers fill the night, especially when the mountain mist rolls in. The hotel closed in the 1980s, but thrill seekers still report cold spots, whispers, and the feeling of being watched. The most chilling sight headless apparitions near the old fountain, where executions took place. Even in daylight, grief clings to the crumbling walls. At night, locals warn, the spirits relive their final moments. Listen closely, and you might hear the echoes of war and desperate prayers. The Diplomat Hotel remains a monument to tragedy and restless spirits. In Quezon City, Balete Drive is infamous for the White Lady, a ghostly figure haunting motorists after dark. Legend tells of a young woman who died violently on this road, her spirit bound to the ancient Balete trees. Taxi drivers share chilling tales. A silent woman in white appears in the back seat, vanishing or revealing a bruised, bloodied face. Private motorists report seeing her by the roadside, only for her to disappear as they approach. Cars stall, temperatures drop, and some feel a crushing weight in the back seat. The most terrifying encounters. The White Lady suddenly appears in the rearview mirror, staring with empty eyes. Whether myth or reality, her story is deeply woven into Filipino culture. The dark, tree-lined street and collective fear make every shadow suspicious. Is she a figment of imagination or a restless spirit seeking justice? On Balete Drive, every late-night drive feels like a ghost story waiting to happen. In Pampanga, the abandoned Clark Air Base Hospital is a monument to wartime suffering. Once a lifeline for wounded soldiers, its halls witnessed countless deaths during the Vietnam and Korean Wars. After the U.S. military left, the hospital decayed, and the ghost stories flourished. Explorers report disembodied screams, phantom cries for help, and the sounds of gurneys wheeled by invisible hands. Apparitions of wounded soldiers, objects moving on their own, and doors slamming shut are common. The morgue is especially active, with shadowy figures and a suffocating sense of being watched. The air is thick with the agony of the past. Moans, groans, and blood-curdling screams echo through the night. Visiting after dark is an act of bravery. The spirits of the fallen are said to linger, their suffering never ending. Clark Air Base Hospital is a place where the echoes of war refuse to die. Back in Quezon City, Ozone Disco's tragedy is all too real. In 1996, a fire broke out in the packed club. The main exit swung inward, trapping hundreds inside. Flames and smoke turned celebration into chaos. 162 young lives were lost, their bodies found piled against the jammed door. The charred ruins became a grim monument, and soon, stories of hauntings emerged. Neighbors heard faint disco music and screams from the abandoned site at night. Shadowy figures like dancing silhouettes replay the club's final moments. Even after demolition, the new building is plagued by strange occurrences. Phantom crowds, the smell of smoke, and chilling cries. Many believe the victims' spirits remain forever trapped in their last dance. Ozone Disco stands as a warning and a place where the past refuses to rest. The tragedy lingers both in memory and in the shadows. In Baguio, the Lapel White House is as beautiful as it is haunted. Built in the 1920s, its history is marked by luxury and wartime horror. During World War II, Japanese soldiers turned it into a garrison. The patriarch was tortured and killed. The house became a site of executions. After the war, the family returned, but the hauntings began. A woman peers from upstairs windows. A little girl plays on the staircase. Security guards report footsteps, doors opening, and the feeling of being watched. Some fled their posts, terrified by apparitions and unexplained noises. Now a museum, visitors feel cold spots and overwhelming sadness, especially in the master bedroom. The Lapel White House stands as a silent witness to tragedy, its spirits forever bound to its halls. In Manila's Intramuros, Fort Santiago hides a dark past behind its historic walls. Built by the Spanish, its dungeons were death traps. Prisoners drowned as the tide rose. The Japanese used it for torture during World War II. Hundreds died in agony. National hero Jose Rizal was imprisoned here before his execution. Visitors report apparitions of Spanish soldiers, the clank of armor, and phantom footsteps at night. The dungeons echo with screams and moans of the drowned, and shadowy figures lurk in the cells. Some claim to see Rizal's ghost walking his final path. Fort Santiago is more than a tourist site. It's a memorial to suffering, where the past still cries out. The spirits here are reminders of the fortress's brutal history. Malakanang Palace, the seat of power, is also home to restless spirits. With centuries of history, it's seen intrigue, drama, and tragedy. Some say the ghosts of former residents never left. The headless priest, Father Vicente de Santo Tomas, is seen wandering the grounds. A former American official gazes from a window, and even ex-presidents are rumored to appear. Staff and residents report disembodied voices, phantom music, and swaying chandeliers. The shadowy Mr. Brown is said to appear before national tragedies, a spectral omen. Malakanang's ghosts are more than legend. They're part of the palace's living history. Here, the past and present walk side by side. Coron Island, once a Wenitu fortress, is now a haunted graveyard. Filipino and American soldiers made their last stand here, enduring relentless bombardment and immense loss. The Malinta Tunnel, a wartime hospital and headquarters, is the island's spectral heart. Visitors hear screams, see shadowy figures, and feel cold spots in the tunnels. Some are touched or pushed by unseen forces. Ghostly nurses tend to phantom patients. The ruins of barracks and hospitals are haunted by soldiers still at their posts. At night, the island grows eerier. Spirits relive the battle, their cries carried on the wind. Corregidor is a place where courage and tragedy linger, refusing to be forgotten. The ghosts of war remain echoing through the ruins. Our final stop up, Diplomat, a campus alive with ghost stories. Its grounds, once sites of wartime conflict, are now fertile ground for legends. Palma Hall's 5th floor is haunted by strange noises and apparitions. Phantom piano music echoes in the College of Music's empty rooms. A ghost jogger vanishes on the academic oval. A white lady startles late-night drivers. Even the library isn't safe. Books fall and shadowy figures roam the stacks. For UP students, these stories are more than folklore. They're a rite of passage, and a reminder that some mysteries defy explanation. That's our journey through the Philippines' most haunted places. Each site is a testament to tragedy, where the past lingers and the veil feels thin. Are these just stories, or glimpses into something beyond? That's for you to decide. If you ever visit these places at night, remember, some spirits prefer to be left undisturbed. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, and maybe keep a light on.